Good morning. This is Cherian Kuruvila, a business mentor and a coach for the last 15 years, working purely in the entrepreneur space with family businesses, with SMEs, with early stage organizations, growth phase organizations. And this topic is all about funding, right? And funding is something that plays in the mind of every entrepreneur every other day. Do I have enough funds? Do I have enough cash flow? Am I earning enough profits? How do I get more money to grow my business? How do I justify more money to grow my business, right? Should I be self-funded or should I depend on other loans and ODs, or should I get an investor coming into my business? And these are questions that keep playing in the minds of entrepreneurs, depending on what stage they are, right? Obviously, if you're a more established business and been around for a couple of years, then you've got your cash flow thing sort of somewhat sorted out. You've got your bank and OD limits sort of defined. You know how to manage the cash. You know how much is due every month based on the billing. You know how you're supposed to manage your money flow. But when you're in the earlier stage of the business, in the first couple of years or the first year, where you got a fantastic idea, or you think you got a great idea, you think you got a game-breaking idea, you got an innovative idea or a product or a service, and you got great plans, you want to change the way the market works, you want to change the world, but you know that you don't have the resources, or you or your founders, co-founders by themselves may just about have enough resources to get started. But what happens after that? What happens after you get started, and how do you get started, right? So I have a lot of entrepreneurs who are connected to me through various other sources since I've been in this ecosystem for a very long time. And they all struggle saying that, look, I need so much money. I need so much money. They're pretty clear about how much money they need. They're pretty clear about why they need. They need money to scale up. They need money to expand. They need money to, give wings to their dreams. And as I start talking to them, I said, okay, tell me more about your product. Tell me more about your service. Tell me more about why this is different, how it's unique. What are you going to do? What impact is your product or service going to have in the marketplace? And I think it's all spoken out from their passion, right? It's spoken out from their passion that this is what we want to do. This is how we can do. This is a unique space. There are not too many players in this space. We believe that if we come into this, we can really change the way the segment works, right? So I see the passion. I see the passion. And when we get to the next logical step, saying that, okay, fine, you seem to have a great product or service, but tell me more about the market. Tell me more, who are your customer segments? Who are your target segments? Where are you planning to play in? How are you planning to play? How do you plan to get there, right? So that is when we start getting into the discussions about, okay, who are your target segments? What's your market coverage plan? What's your marketing and branding plan? How do you plan to actually reach out to your target segments in your target geographies, right? What kind of a team are you looking at building up? What kind of an organization structure are you looking at building up? How are you going to get these people? Where are you going to get these people from? Why would they want to join you? Now, these may sound like very negative questions, or like putting doubts in the mind of the entrepreneur. But as a mentor, what I look at, these are not meant to put doubts in the mind of the entrepreneur. This is to bring clarity in the mind of the entrepreneur, because many of these thoughts are thought through very generally at the surface level. But as you start probing each of them, you realize there's a lot more to be done. So if an entrepreneur goes and tells an investor or a potential investor that I need X amount of money, that investor is not just going to buy it, right? So this is where I see a gap. Right? A lot of entrepreneurs have got great products, great services, great ideas, great dreams, but they're not able to sell that story powerfully. Right? Not able to sell that story powerfully. And to me, I think having spent most of my life in sales and marketing and business and P&L, I realized that whatever you are trying to do to get funding for your business has to be a very compelling story, has to be a very powerful story, has to convince the investor or investors or another co-founder that look, this is a business where I want to put in money. It doesn't it looks like a great opportunity. It does not look like a very big risk. Of course, any new business would have that element of risk. But the fact is that this entrepreneur has thought through this in a great amount of detail. I personally have been a jury member with many, uh, entrepreneurs trying to make their pitch, and I think the pitch gets lost somewhere after the passion is covered. This is what we want to do. This is what we, and then there's no detailing, right? So I think when we are talking about getting ready for funding, I think the whole thing is about clarity. Clarity of vision, clarity of the product or service, clarity of the positioning of it, clarity of how you're going to get there, why you want to get there, and what all are things that need to get done. And for all that to happen, what are the kind of organization structure I need? What are the kind of team I need? What's the kind of initial money I need for the first phase? And then as I want to expand into the next phase, it may be in year 2 and then in year 3, what are my expansion plans? Or what is the spread out plan that I have? And to support that, how do I need the funds? Where do I need the funds? What will be the phasing of the fund need? What is going to be the phasing of the flow of revenue? Right. And this is where it comes to the other aspect of do you even have a proper business plan? Right. People just put in their presentations, we want to grow 30% year 1, 40% year 2, 70% by year 3. We want to go from 2 cities to 5 cities to 10 cities. It sounds very nice on paper, but the fact is nobody gets convinced with it, right? It has to be a well thought through plan that, look, year 1 is going to be the year of establishment, of building awareness of my product or service. These are the things that I'm going to do for that. My goal for year 1 is this. My goal for year 2 and year 3 is this, right? And this is how I'm going to go about it. So unless the why, the what, the where, the who, the how is defined, right? It is very unlikely that an angel investor or an early stage investor or a bigger fund would even buy that story of yours, right? So my only recommendation to entrepreneurs looking at funding to scale their growth need a lot of preparation. And this is where we as business mentors, having worked with a variety of entrepreneurs across different stages, across different industries, for us, we do not give all the answers, but we ask all the right questions. And in the process of getting the answers to those questions, the right answers come out, right? And I think this is where the entrepreneur also starts learning, gaining new perspectives, seeing things differently from the way they looked at it, right? They might have been considering a particular innovation or a product or service or a market, but through the discussions and the quality of the discussions, it's quite likely that, many more other opportunities come up, many more other collaboration opportunities come, many more alliance opportunities come up. And suddenly the business looks a lot more solid than it was looking on paper earlier, right? So my request to entrepreneurs is that if you have not done a proper business plan, because the business plan actually would cover a lot of these elements, that I spoke about, what is your product strategy, what is your market coverage strategy, what is your marketing and branding strategy, what is your organization and team strategy, what is your growth plan for year 1, year 2, year 3, with the numbers, with the costing, with the operating costs, with the likely profitability or loss in the year 1, year 2, year 3. And I think business planning is a very detailed process. It's not an Excel sheet like many others just do. Showing 30%, 50%, 70% growth year on year is very, very easy on an Excel sheet. It's not easy in reality. And I think this is where I would urge entrepreneurs to uh, seek an expert, where whichever expert you think is the right expert. That's the important point. But seek an expert and don't try your own jugglery, right? End of the day, if you are the owner, you are the entrepreneur, it's your idea, it's your product, it's your innovation. Make sure that you have a compelling story which you can then send out to the world. And trust me, once your story is compelling, it's more likely that you'll have more investors vying to put their money into your business instead of you running after them to somehow get some money to come into your business, right? Think about it. And anytime you want more details, happy to connect with you, happy to take you through it, happy to, you know, talk a little bit more about many of these points which I covered briefly in this 10-minute video. And there's a lot more to business than just getting funding. It's about planning the funding in a very judicious way so that uh, your business can actually grow in a very, very structured and planned way, right? And uh, I hope this video was useful for you, and I look forward to. You could reach out to me. I'm Cherian Kuruvila. You could connect with me on LinkedIn, or you could reach out to me on my WhatsApp number. I'm giving it here. It's 988 60 55358. Right? Happy to take it on from here. Thank you so much.